Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and today Apple released iOS 26.4 Beta 3. iOS 26.4 Beta 3 is available to developers. Hopefully we'll see a public beta this time around, as there was no public beta for Beta 2. Now this came in at 1.68 gigabytes, that's on my 17 Pro Max, was about the same size on the other devices here, where Apple also released iPadOS 26.4 Beta 3, tvOS 26.4 Beta 3, watchOS 26.4 Beta 3, and visionOS 26.4 Beta 3. There's no macOS update just yet. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the build number and talk about what's new. So we'll go into settings, then we'll go to general, then software update. We can see it right here when it loads, go to more details, and then tap on the build number here, or the build, and you'll see it's 23E5223F. So last week's build was an E at the end. That doesn't really matter as much as long as the number goes up. So we're good to go as far as the update. And as far as what's new, well, we do have a new modem update. So if you're installing Beta 2 to Beta 3, maybe had some issues with the modem. I really had no issues with Beta 2, but hopefully this helps overall. Now, as far as new features this week, well, going from Beta 1 to Beta 2 is typically where you see the biggest amount of features, and then we get more and more refinement from Beta 3 on to the RC and public release. However, there are some changes to talk about. The first thing has to do with Apple Music. If we go into Library, we have this icon at the top that we had before, and if we scroll up here, we have Playlist Playground. Again, this may not be available in every region or area. However, now we're seeing new playlist ideas. I wasn't seeing anything here before, but now it says hip-hop party songs, morning coffee music, disco songs that define the 1970s, giving us some ideas of what we could create. Maybe we'll tap on this one and then it will automatically create it for us. So it looks like they're refining this, making it work a little bit better, and let's see what it gives us for songs here. It's taking just a moment to complete, but again, we'll give it just a moment and hopefully it creates the playlist very shortly here. So it took about 30 seconds to create, and you can see some different options here. So a bunch of different songs it thinks I'll enjoy based on what I've been listening to, from morning tunes featuring acoustic and coffee shop vibes with lo-fi elements. So that's something they've updated. One thing they have not updated that people keep asking about is Apple Intelligence and the new Siri update. So far, there's no changes here. Even with ChatGPT, that's the only option. If we go into that, you'll see you can sign in, but we have no options for Gemini, Claude, or any of the others. So at this point, they haven't really changed anything with Apple Intelligence, it seems. They have made a change, or at least a preparation for a feature within Messages. So you'll see here, if we go down to Emoji, within Emoji, if I maybe describe some of the new emoji that are expected with iOS 26.4 to comply with the latest Unicode standard, for example, a trombone, you'll see there's just a question mark with a box around it. This is what we're seeing on all of these new ones. So for example, if we type in maybe Orca, that's one of the new ones. Again, we'll see the same box. So it looks like they've prepared to add these. They just haven't added the icons just yet. So maybe in Beta 4 or the release candidate. Apple still has the end-to-end encryption beta. However, it's still not showing up. I've tested this back and forth with a couple different people, and so far it's just not showing whatsoever. So it's not showing up here. Sometimes it will show, but again, it's in beta, and hopefully it will be regular when we have it released to the public. Also, some people are seeing the confirm you are 18 message show up in the UK again. Apple previously said this was a bug. However, it looks like it's showing up again from those that just upgraded to Beta 3. And it's still not verifying properly for some as well. So again, this seems like it's a bug that they haven't fully resolved. Also, one other thing worth mentioning from Aaron P613 on X is that iOS 26.4 Beta 3 adds a new share message from the Fitness app. So this is something, for example, where it says I swam open water with the Fitness app on my iPhone. So you'll be able to share that status with someone, it seems. However, I'm not seeing it yet within Fitness, but it is within the code. I also got some splash screens this time around. For example, if we go into a couple different apps here, we'll slide over. So for example, if I go into Freeform, this isn't a big one. I took a screen capture of it earlier as we had a little pop-up here that showed, but now it's gone. And you can see in a screenshot I took, once it popped up, it says generate images, create custom images from scratch, or transform existing images. There was also a splash screen when we went into the TV app. So if you go into TV, you'll see it now says Formula One is on Apple TV, and then MLS is included with Apple TV. Things we know about that are now on Apple TV. So this is great. You've got F1, but all of the F1 coverage is there as well, at least in the United States. In addition to this, there was one other. So if you use the Vision Pro app, if you have that here, we'll just type here to get it. And if we go into Vision Pro, again, I got a new splash screen that just says discover new content, get your Vision Pro ready, and share with AirPlay. So those are some new things I'm seeing, at least in this beta. Now, before we talk about bugs and bug fixes, Apple announced a few products today. Tim Cook actually posted this last week where it says a big week ahead. It all starts Monday morning with the Apple launch. So if we go to Apple's website, you'll see they announced the iPhone 17e and the iPad Air. Both have been updated. The 17e has a few more updates than we expected. It has a new soft pink color, has the A19 chipset, Ceramic Shield 2, and has MagSafe. So those are the biggest updates there. It's still the same 60 Hz display. It still has the notch, and we have a few other features, and it starts at 256 gigabytes of storage for the same $599. With the iPad Air, that's even less of an upgrade here, where we basically have an M4 upgrade starting with 12 gigs of RAM. We have the C1X modem for the cellular models, N1 for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 6, and the same 60 Hz laminated LCD display. So not a huge change here. We expect bigger releases throughout the week, maybe a cheaper MacBook Air or MacBook with the MacBook Air M5 and MacBook Pro, maybe a few surprises as well. But either way, we can expect that on Tuesday and Wednesday. When it comes to bugs and bug fixes, well, good news with the App Store. If we go into the App Store, maybe we search for the Sports app here. We'll just search Sport. You'll see it searches very fast. It's back up to speed. The same is true with the Arcade app or the Games app as well. Things are working as you would expect. For those of you having issues with the Gmail app, that appears to be working now. And also the Spotlight bug is working properly or not having the issue anymore. So sometimes when you had Spotlight, you'd bring it in here and it wouldn't work properly or show you results. It looks like it's working properly based on how you have your settings set up. Now, the wallpaper bug is something I think they are working on, as it seems to be hit or miss this time. Look how vibrant it is. Swipe up and it sort of desaturates. Again, you'll see it sort of gets vibrant there, clicks on the lock screen, and then goes away. Definitely still a bug, but sometimes it doesn't show up. Also, some people are saying the do not disturb on the home screen no longer has the big shadow behind it. This one looks like it still does. Some people are seeing it go away, so maybe they've been working on it, but either way, it still has it for me. Also, the shortcut input bug remains, so for those trying to automate things with messages and things like that, it's not working properly, at least on its own, so those are still remaining. As far as what Apple had to say in the release notes, unfortunately, these are the same exact notes as Beta 2. I went back and compared them side to side or side by side, and you'll see it says known issues. We have the feedback with resolved issues. Everything is identical with Beta 2. So what they fixed specifically, we don't really know, as they haven't updated it here. When it comes to releases, well, one thing we could see this week is iOS 26.3.1. We could see it Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. We could even see it on a Friday. Apple's been fairly random lately. Some suspect maybe even next week, but I would expect iOS 26.4 Beta 4 or RC as soon as next week. And if we do see an RC next week, we could have a public release as soon as the 16th. So we don't really know 100% when it's going to come out, but Apple is supposedly working on 26.3.1 as well, as MacRumors has seen this in their analytics. But again, they've skipped those sometimes as well. But hopefully we'll see that, and then we'll have a public release of 26.4 within a couple weeks as well. When it comes to the next version, iOS 26.5, maybe finally we'll see Siri 2.0 there. We don't really know. Or maybe they're just going to postpone it until iOS 27. That's going to be shown usually around June 8th at WWDC 2026. So at this point, we really don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, if you're wondering if you should install iOS 26.4 Beta 3, well, that really depends if you're already on iOS 26.4. If you are, definitely upgrade to the latest. Be sure to share feedback. And again, hopefully by the time you're watching this video, the public beta is out and you can try that out as well. But if you're on iOS 26.3, I probably would hold off at this point, unless maybe you want to try it on another device. Just make sure you have a backup and a computer if you want to downgrade. When it comes to performance, I've noticed a little bit of lag here and there, but most people are saying it's nice and fast, just like Beta 2 was. You'll see ProMotion seems to be what you would expect. I haven't seen really any frame rate drops, but occasional lag when I swipe from screen to screen. It's only when I first turn the phone on or unlock it, then I start swiping if I haven't already. You'll see there was some lag there. Now it's nice and smooth. So I don't know if this is adaptive power. I've talked about this before, so let's turn that off and see if it makes a difference. Again, if we lock it, unlock it, swipe up, scroll, it doesn't seem to make a difference there. So I've been leaving that on, but definitely still an issue. from time to time, especially once you unlock the phone. When it comes to overall heat, I've had good reports so far. Of course, it's only been in a couple hours at this point, but many people said after about a half an hour, it seemed like it was done processing as much as it was in the background. Of course, it's going to take a few days to measure that along with battery. So the heating seems to be okay, not super hot, at least on the 17 Pro Max. But when it comes to battery life, we'll go to battery health. You'll see I'm at 100% capacity with 29 cycles. I've been using this full time. I was traveling last week, used this with beta 2. Now I'm on beta 3 on my main phone, and it's actually been getting better as far as battery life. If we take a look at usage, yesterday I only had 1 hour and 44 minutes, but I only used 38% of the battery because I wasn't using it that much. So far today, 2 hours and 32 minutes, installed an update, and I've used 42%. So it varies day to day, but it definitely has improved since beta 1 or 26.3 for me. So it seems like it's getting better, but again, depending on the day, it varies greatly. For example, this day, last Friday, I had 4 hours and 27 minutes on beta 2. But again, we'll talk about this in the weekend follow-up, see how it's holding up, and see what it's like after a few days. When it comes to benchmarks, I did run it a couple times, but keep in mind it's still processing in the background most likely, and we had 3,826 for single core, 9,830 for multi-core. If we take a look at the history, you'll see the prior time I ran it here today, and then previously it was a little bit lower. It seems like it's gone up and down depending on the day, but still quite well and well within the margin of error. No real issues here whatsoever. When it comes to storage, let's go ahead and take a look, as the storage bug was fixed for many with the previous update. But if we go to General and then iPhone Storage, scroll to the bottom, on the left here I have beta 2, so let's check this one as well. Now, iOS is a little bit smaller on the left here with beta 2 at 22.05 gigabytes compared to 22.51 gigabytes. You can see the overall size difference here. So Apple Intelligence versus what we have with iOS. Also system data, of course, that goes up and down, but it's definitely lower than it was before. Some have seen this go over 100 gigabytes with beta 1. It looks like it's fixed with beta 2 and even better with beta 3. And so that's everything so far with iOS 26.4 beta 3. Not a huge update, but more of a refinement update. And again, we'll have to see what it's like after a few days in the weekend follow-up video. Let me know if you're planning to order maybe an iPhone 17e, a new iPad Air, or maybe other products Apple may announce this week. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Of course, I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.